Welcome to the Siljander Podcast, where you will find actionable tips, tricks, and strategies for the millennials. In this show, we will dive into content that will teach you how to live with more ease, confidence, and authenticity. Here we will start with a foundation of compassion for ourselves, and then spread that compassion to others. We believe that this chain of acceptance and fortitude can radically change our families, communities, and beyond. And I am your host, Laura Siljander, yoga teacher, mental health coach, outdoor enthusiast, and lover of red wine. So grab your headphones and get ready to learn, grow, and to be inspired to live a life filled with intention and wellness. If you like the show, follow me on Instagram at practice_compassion, or check out my website, laurasiljander.com. I am so glad you are here, and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome. You have arrived to the Siljander Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Your support means so much to me. I really genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I wanted to take some time to check in to see how you're doing. And you know what? If you're not doing so well, that's okay. And if you're doing great, that's okay too. But just check in. And if you're like, nope, I don't even want to check in. I'm too distracted. I'm too fearful of that feeling or emotion that may occur. If I do check in, then keep yourself safe if you want. Or you may want to listen to the podcast before this called Numb and Run. But take a moment if you'd like and see how you're doing. All right, this whole episode was sparked and inspired by a quote that I read from a book called Love Warrior by Glennon Doyle. If you've read it, awesome. If you haven't, maybe you can put it on your list if it interests you. But it all started when I was walking on the beach because I live in coastal Carolinas, and I was listening to this book on tape for the second time. I rented it for free through my library. Yes, thank you. Tax dollars going to somewhere positive. And this line, this quote I'm going to read you really just sparked something in me. So I got inspired. Now I really want to share it with you and see if it can invoke any inspiration or unveil any of your truths for you. Quote, "It strikes me that I need to throw out the dictionary the world gave me about what it means to be a mother, a wife, a person of faith, an artist, and a woman, and write my own. I have finally unlearned enough. I have unbecome, and I am ready to begin again." Again, that's Love Warrior by Glennon Doyle. You know when you have read something that just sets you free? When this message evokes a feeling of thank you for putting that into words. I have felt this for years. These words have inspired this episode. So rewriting our own dictionary, rewriting our own roles that we want to fall under. Let me explain this further. As little girls, I'm going to start with little girls, we are told that we are precious and adorable and cute. And as adolescents, we are told to smile and be a good girl. And in our teens and 20s, we are fed messages of what pretty are and what sexy is considered. We are told and bred to believe what our parents want us to and do what society expects from us. We need to be smart, attractive, find a man, have a family, buy a house, fear God, and do not be too complicated or sensitive. We are fed what types of cars to drive, what clothes we should wear and that are appropriate, and your house better be updated too. Fit into your group or your subgroup, whatever that is. That could be anywhere from van life to Southern Belle life to anything in between. But it's like this societal pressure, this societal expectations, what we see on Instagram and on Netflix of what being a woman and a mother and or a college student, wherever you are, should be like. But who decided all of this for us? Who is feeding us these toxic ideas? Because imagine most of these ideas, they don't resonate with us. We're just doing it because that's what's expected of us. We're going to buy that white SUV because everyone else has a really pretty white SUV. So who's feeding us these ideas? Why do I feel like there is a quiet voice inside of me who is being ignored? The quiet side that whispers that this doesn't feel like me. This white SUV doesn't feel like me. Or I don't actually like monogrammed hats. or stainless steel appliances, or I don't like wearing makeup, or I don't even like this Louis Vuitton bag that I am carrying around. Who is feeding us this stuff? On an even deeper level, maybe our quiet rebel voice says, I don't agree with the faith I am told to follow, the sexuality that was assigned to me, or fill in your own blanks of your rebel soul. That rebel voice that's whispering to you that this doesn't feel right, even though you blend in and you look good and you're getting all these compliments and it might flatter you, but you know in your gut and in that whisper, that rebel voice saying, this doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel genuine. Or have you even taken the time to say, does this feel genuine or authentic to me? I know for the longest time, I buried my rebel voice and told her that's enough for now. And so I went back into the world and I took the path of least resistance. It is safer, people know how to handle this better, and I don't need to ruffle any feathers and be judged and deemed as the woo-woo weird person. For some of you, you're like, yes, I hear you. Let's do this. And for others, you may be like, I don't know what you're talking about at all. So I want to give you some examples. I've already given you a few examples of kind of mainstream stuff. And even if you belong to a different subculture, like I brought up van life, are you just bopping around doing what everyone else is doing because it makes you nervous to veer off onto your own? It's stuff like that. It doesn't matter where you are or what culture that you're in. A lot of us look around and we kind of just do, act, and feel what everyone else is doing. Without question, just because we think this is what the world expects of us. Here is a more specific example. In Glennon's book, she shares a lie that we have been force-fed to us for a really long time. But take note as I read this to you. And I'm going to quote about how she also doesn't bury her rebel voice. So in the book, she is learning to rekindle the romance of her relationship with her husband. She wants to have sex with him again. They haven't had sex in a long time. He hurt her. She doesn't trust him. And they're trying to rekindle the romance and they're trying to have sex again. And then she finds herself feeling kind of awkward. And then she starts on this thought process. Quote, but what the hell does sexy even mean? I wonder if the word sexy is everything that made sex a lie to me. Sexy meant grown women acting like lingerie is just what we want for Valentine's Day. Sexy was pretending not to be hungry. Sexy was bleach and heels and bending over pool tables and other uncomfortable things. Sexy was one type of body and one type of hair color and spending an entire life looking into the mirror instead of out at the world. Sexy was what the marketers told me that sexy was, so I'd buy whatever they were selling. I've been trying to be that kind of sexy for 20 years, and lying there in bed, I realized that's going to have to change. That definition of what sexy is poisoned my husband and me, and it's never going to work for us again. I'm going to have to try to have sex without any fake commercialized sexiness involved. Maybe it's possible that I don't have to hate sex just because I hate the world's definition of sexy. Maybe I can find my own sexy. End of quote. Most gals can relate to this about beauty is pain and what it looks like to be sexy in the culture that you're in. We all have been fed something like that. It's hard for me to believe that you maybe have not been fed that in some way. So what has your culture told you about being sexy? And does it actually work for you? This is just one example of what some of the forced fed things that we do that maybe we don't even think about. If this doesn't hit home for you, if you're like, I still don't really get what you're talking about, can you think of something that is like this? Something that you've been force fed of what to be or act like or to consume that you just kind of do. So coming back to that initial quote about the dictionary and rewriting your own dictionary for the roles that you are told to be in, such as student, woman, artist, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, anything like that. What dictionary are you reading from? Your own or what you have been fed? Is that dictionary working for you? Is there any unlearning that you need to partake in? Unlearning what is cool or sexy or appropriate? What unlearning do you need to do that you've been fed that doesn't work for you? Or maybe it never has. I started unlearning the big stuff first, which I really don't recommend. I played around with my sexuality and I unlearned what it was to be a white woman in the world. And that was a very, very big thing to unlearn. And there was a lot of growing pains. And so if you're going to embark on this journey, to start to rethink, to unlearn certain items in your dictionary that you want to rewrite, and in your life, then I suggest starting with the small stuff first. I invite you to start listening to your rebel voice. When that feeling, when that whisper comes up, it can be as simple as, okay, I hear you and I'll listen, whether you engage with it and do what it wants you to do or not. It could be as simple as, I actually think it is a pain in the butt to repaint my chipped nails every week. So I'm going to stop. Or fill in your blank with your small step of what society expects of you, what your family and friend group and your culture expects of you. Your rebel voice will rejoice, but it may also frighten you a little bit. You'll go through things like, what will my friends think? Or my mom? What about my significant other? Fear and self-doubt will come up and they will come to play and list all the reasons why to comply and retreat back to the way you used to be. It will take strength, courage, and gentleness, and a little bit fake it till you make it for the self-doubt to become quieter. That's why you can start small, and you can always change your mind and rewrite the dictionary and the rules of your life. Some of my students read an article from the HuffPost about a palliative care nurse who recorded the top 5 regrets of the dying. And the most common regret of all was, I wish I had the courage to live the life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. So start small. Get used to living a life authentic to you. Expect pushback by your self-doubt and others, but keep trying and experimenting and flirting with the idea that we have one shot at this life, unless you believe in reincarnation. Listen to your rebel voice. Engage with it. Listen to it, and maybe try following it by starting with something small. Rewrite the rules for your life so they fit your life, not what others expect of you. Okay, that was super fun. And I'm engaging in this right along with you. You are so not alone. And I am told a lot that I'm kind of weird, but I know that I'm living authentically. And this could be even as small as I purchased some really funny sunglasses that don't look that great, but man, they feel good. And my rebel voice went, these are awesome. You're going to feel so good in these. But I even had someone go, what kind of sunglasses are those? And they were kind of making fun of me a little bit. But you know what? I don't care. I'm almost to that point where if you don't expect me for who I am and what I choose, then why are you around? And I don't mean to push those people out of my life, but after a while, these people are going to notice at how authentically you're living, and they just might ask what your shift was. And it's because you're listening to that rebel voice, that authentic voice inside of you. So let's go on this path together. I'm with you. I'm here to cheer you on. I'm here to support you for when other people don't quite agree with your decisions. You can always reach out to me on social media or on my website, anywhere where you can find me. Good luck on your path, and practice compassion with that rebel voice of yours, and then spread that to someone else. Bye.